Well, dear learners, I welcome you all in this session on consignment accounts part 3. So, well friends, you all are well aware that when the goods is consigned by the consignor to the consignee to sell the goods on account of a particular amount of commissions, this is how the consignment account is prepared. So here we will see that in case of consignment, how the accounts are prepared by the consignee and how the entries are made and how the account of consignor is settled by the consignee. So here we will see that how the transactions are recorded in the books of the consignee, in the books of the consignor, and how the books of accounts are maintained as far as the consignment account is concerned. So the entire process of maintaining the books of account in the books of the consignor and in the books of consignee, we will see and we will discuss the same concept with the help of the example, and I am sure that this example will make the students clear that how accounts are maintained in the books of the consignee and in the books of the consignor as well, and how does the consignee settles the account of the consignor after performing his job. So let us discuss it with the help of the example. So on 1st January 2018, Gursharan and Company of Delhi consigned 50 cases of glassware costing rupees 40,000 to Singh and Company of Calcutta for sale on commission at the rate of 5% on gross sales proceeds. Gursharan and Company paid rupees 500 for freight and carriage and rupees 600 for packing. Singh and Company took delivery of goods on January 5, 2018 and paid rupees 300 for clearing charges, rupees 200 for carriage and rupees 50 for miscellaneous expenses and rupees 100 for godown rent. They sold 15 cases at the rate rupees 1000 each, 25 cases at the rate of 1200 each and 10 cases at the rate of 1100 each. On 5th April 2018, Singh and Company sent a bank draft for rupees 15,000 to Gursharan and Company on account. On 10th April 2018, Singh and Company forwarded an account sales together with a bill of exchange for balance due. Prepare necessary ledger accounts in the books of both the parties. So let us see that first in the books of Gursharan and Company, consignment to Singh and Company. So here it is mentioned that Gursharan and Company of Delhi consigned 50 cases of glassware costing rupees 40,000 to Singh and Company. So here Gursharan and Company is the consignor and this Singh and Company of Calcutta is the consignee. So here two goods sent on consignment. So here the consignor, that is Gursharan and Company, has consigned to Singh and Company goods worth rupees 40,000. Two goods sent on consignment 40,000. It is given in the question 40,000. Two bank expenses incurred by the Gursharan and Company. Freight and carriage 500, packing 600, total it is 1100. So let's check. Gursharan and Company paid 500 for freight and rupees 600 for packing. It means 1100. This 1100. To Singh and Company. So the expenses incurred by the consignee, that is Singh and Company, clearing charge is 300, carries 200, miscellaneous expenses 50, go down rent 100. It means total 650. So let's check it. Singh and Company took the delivery of goods on January 5, 2018 and paid 300 for clearing charges, 200 for carriage, 50 for miscellaneous expenses and 100 for go down rent. It means total 300 and 200 500, 550 and 100 650. Good. To Singh and Company, it means commission to consignee 2800. So this we will see how this amount of rupees 2800 is calculated. And by Singh and Company, sales 56,000. So let us check the amount of sales 56,000. So it is mentioned here that 15 cases were sold at the rate of rupees 1000 each. It means 15,000. 25 cases at the rate of rupees 1200. So it means 30,000. So 30,000 and 15,000, 45,000, and 10 cases at the rate of 1100 each, 11,000. So 45,000 plus 11,000, 56,000. So this amount of 56,000 is okay. So now we will see the amount of commission 2800. Let us check how this amount is arrived, 2800. Yes. Singh and Company of Calcutta is entitled 5% on gross sales proceeds. So 5% commission, yes, 5% commissions on gross sales. So 5% of 56,000, so it is 2800. So if we will subtract this and this out of 56,000, the remaining balance is 11,450. So this balancing figure is termed as profit and loss account on account of consignment. So total is 56,000, 56,000. Goods and on consignment 40,000. So consignee, that is Singh and Company, settled the account 40,000. Now Singh and Company's account, it means in the books of the consignor, the consignee's account. So here the consignee has made the sales of rupees 56,000. So 56,000, 56,000. So by bank account. So it is mentioned that Singh and Company paid rupees 15,000 to the consignor, that is Gursharan and Company. So let's check it. Yes, it is mentioned that Singh and Company sent a bank draft of rupees 15,000 to Gursharan and Company on accounts 15,000 by consignment to Singh and Company. So here these are the expenses which are incurred by the consignee, 650, which we have already checked. By commissions, so this amount of rupees 2800 on gross sales, that we have already seen, 2800. By bills receivable, so this is the balancing figure. So if you will subtract this and this out of 56,000, so the balancing figure will be 37,550. So 56,000, 56,000. In the books of Singh and Company, it means in the books of the consignee, the account of consignor, Gursharan and Company. So the consignee has made payment of rupees 15,000 to Gursharan and Company through a draft. So to bank 15,000. These are the expenses of 650 incurred by the consignee, that is by Singh and Company. This is the amount of commission which the consignee is entitled to take it from the consignor, and this is the bills payable, 37,550 is the balancing figure. And here by bank, this is the total amount of sales made by the consignee, 56,000. Now commission account, so very simple, commission is an expenses. So the amount of rupees 2800 as commission for Singh and Company, that is the consignee. So this amount of commission will be transferred to the profit and loss account, 2800. Now the next part is valuation of unsold stock. Well, dear learners, now we will see how the valuation of unsold goods is made. So, we know that the valuation of unsold stock is usually done at cost. So, in case of consignment, cost of stock would include the cost at which the goods are consigned plus the proportionate non-recurring expenses. That is, all those expenses incurred till goods reach the godown of consignees. So, here non-recurring expenses. You should note that all non-recurring expenses, whether incurred by the consignor or by the consignees, are to be taken into account. In the absence of the details of expenditure incurred by the consignee, all expenses incurred by him are to be taken as recurring expenses. It means if no specific information has been given in the question, so we will presume that the expenses incurred by the consignees are of recurring in nature. Therefore, such expenses will not constitute the part of the unsold stock while making the valuation. So, following expenses are usually added for calculation of closing stock. Non-recurring expenses: carriage and freight, loading charges, custom duty, clearing charges, dock dues, carriage paid up to the godown, unloading charges. So, these are the expenses which are generally considered for the valuation of closing stock, and these are the expenses which are not considered for calculation of the valuation of the closing stock: godown rent, discount, bad debts, insurance of the goods in godown, selling and distribution expenses. Accounting treatment of unsold stock. Since the value of unsold stock affects profit or loss on any consignment, its valuation and recording in the books of the consignor is very important. It is shown on credit side of consignment account, for which the following journal entry will be passed. So, because any amount of goods which remain unsold at the end of the accounting period must be taken into consideration in order to arrive the accurate amount of profit or loss on account of consignment. So, the entry for the unsold stock at the end of the year will be consignment stock account debit to consignment. The consignee, however, will not pass any entry for the closing stock. It is because he is not the owner of the goods and does not pass any entry even when he receives or returns the goods. So, this valuation of unsold stock is always made by the consignor, not by the consignee. So, now we will see it with the help of the illustration. On January 1st, 2018, Universal Sports Delhi consigned 180 kg of sports goods costing rupees 360 each to Gemini Sports, Mumbai. They paid rupees 364 insurance and rupees 1800 for freight. Gemini Sports are entitled to a commission of 10% on gross sales. Gemini Sports received the consignment on January 15 and sent a 60 days bill for rupees 10,000 to Universal Sports. The bill was discounted for rupees 9,000. On the opening of the cases, consignee found 10 cases of wrong description and returned them. So, when the cases were opened, the consignee found 10 cases wrong. It means these 10 cases which were found wrong were not as per the specification given by the consignee. Paying a return freight of rupees 400. So, on account of returning these 10 wrong cases, the consignee incurred rupees 400 on account of returning. Gemini Sports sold 120 cases at the rate of rupees 600 each for cash and 20 cases at the rate of rupees 700 each on credit. Gemini Sport spent rupees 720 on clearing charges and rupees 600 on carriage outward. They incurred bad debts amounting to rupees 400. Accounts were settled on June 30th and the balance was remitted by check. Show necessary ledger accounts in the books of both the party. So here just we will try to understand that here Universal Sports of Delhi is the consignor and the Gemini Sports of Mumbai is the consignee. So here the consignment and consignees transactions will take place between the Universal Sports of Delhi and Gemini Sports of Mumbai. So now let us see how the valuation of unsold stock is made in the books of the consignor and how the accounts are maintained in the books of both the parties. Books of Universal Sports, it means these are the accounts which are maintained in the books of the consignor. So consignment account first. To goods sent on consignment 64,800. So let us check it. Universal Sports consigned goods costing rupees 360 each to Gemini Sports. So if we will multiply 180 cases at the cost of rupees 360, it will come to 64,800. To bank, so these are the expenses incurred by the consignor. It means these are the expenses which are incurred by the Universal Sports of Delhi. Insurance 360, freight 1800, so total is 2160. So let us check the amount of insurance and freight incurred by the Universal Sports of Delhi. So it is mentioned that the consignor, that is Universal Sports, paid rupees 360 for insurance and rupees 1800 for freight. It means the amount is okay. To Gemini Sports, freight on goods returned. So it is mentioned in the question that on account of returning the 10 wrong cases, the consignee incurred rupees 400 on account of returning the goods. So these are the 400 and we have already checked this amount. To Gemini Sports expenses. So Gemini Sports, it means the consignee has also incurred 720 rupees on account of clearing charges and 600 on account of carriage outward. So total is 1320. So let us check the amount of clearing charges and carried outward. So it is mentioned that the consignee, that is Gemini Sports, spent rupees 720 on clearing charges and 600 on carriage outward. So total is 1320. To Gemini Sports, so here the consignee has also incurred rupees 400 on account of bad debts. It means the consignee has also sold the goods, some goods on credit basis also. Therefore, the expenses on account of bad debts are incurred 400. To Gemini Sports, commission 8,600. So this we will see how this amount of rupees 8,600 has arrived, and this is the amount of balancing figure, that this is the amount of profit and loss account. So here by goods sent on consignment returns. So here 3,600. So let us check goods returned by the consignee 3,600. Yes, Universal Sports consigned 180 cases of sports goods costing rupees this each to Gemini Sports Mumbai, paid 360 for insurance and 1800 for freight. Gemini Sports are entitled to a commission of 10% on gross sales. So here the sales made by the Gemini Sports is 86,000. So 10% of 86,000 is 8,600. So this figure we have calculated. Now first we will see the figures of this 86,000, how this figure of 86,000 has arrived, how this figure of 3,600 has arrived, and how the valuation of stock is made against rupees 11,280. So first the figures of sales 86,000. Yes. So consignee found 10 cases of wrong description and returned them. So the cost of one case is 360, and the consignee has returned 10 cases. So 360 multiplied by 10, 3600. So I think this figure, goods returned 3600, is clear. Now come to the sales figure 86,000. Yes. Gemini Sports sold 120 cases at the rate of rupees 600. So 120 multiplied by 600, that is 72,000. And for cash, and 20 cases at the rate of rupees 700 each. So 20 multiplied by 700, that comes to 14,000. So 14,000 on account of credit sales and 72,000 on account of cash sales. So total is 86,000. Now we will see the valuation of the closing stock, that is 11,280. So total is 1,08,80. So if we will subtract the entire amount of this, 64,800, 2,160, 400, 1,320, 400, 8,600. So this will be the balancing figure 23,200, which is considered as profit on account of consignment. So total is 1,08,80, 1,08,80. Now the Gemini Sports. So Gemini Sports has made sales of rupees 86,000. So two sales 86,000. Here by bills payable advance 10,000. So it is mentioned in the question 10,000 bills payable. 10,000, yes, a bill of rupees 10,000 to Universal Sports. The bill was discounted for rupees 9,000. Bills receivable 10,000. Now freights on account of return 400, it is mentioned in the question. By consignment expenses 1,320. It is mentioned 1,320. Yes, 720 and 600, 1,320. By consignment bad debts 400 mentioned in the question. By consignment commission 8,600 we have already calculated, 10% of 86,000. By bank, so this is the balancing figure. So if you will subtract this and this out of 86,000, the balancing figure would be 65,280. So total is 86,000. Goods sent on consignment, it's very simple. To consignment 3,600. By consignment it is 64,800. So it is mentioned in the question. Goods sent on consignment 64,800. Goods sent on consignment 64,800, and return is 3,600. Return is 3,600. So this balancing figure 61,200, because if we will subtract 3,600 from 64,800, the balancing figure would be transferred to the trading account 61,200. So total is 64,800. Books of Gemini Sports. Now it is in the books of consignee. We will prepare the Universal Sports account. So cash sales 72,000 and the credit sales 14,000. Total is 86,000. So here bills payable 10,000. To cash freight on returns 400. It is mentioned in the question that on account of returning the 10 wrong cases, the consignee incurred 400 rupees on account of returns. To cash expenses 1,320 already calculated. To debtor bad debts, this is the amount of bad debts which we have already calculated and given in the question. To commission already calculated 8,600. This is the balancing figure 65,280. So total is 86,000. Commission account is 8,600. So commission is an expenses, therefore commission account will be transferred to the profit and loss account 8,600. Now the amount of valuation of closing stock was left. So now we will see how we have arrived the amount of rupees 11,280 on account of valuation of the closing stock. So here, in order to calculate the amount of unsold stock, the formula is very simple: number of closing units multiply by cost per unit. So cost per unit is 360 and number of closing units which remains unsold is 30. So let's check it. So total 180 cases were consigned. So out of 180, you see how many units have been sold off. Yes, 120 and 20. 140 cases have been sold, and out of 180, 10 cases which were wrong were returned. So net cases which were consigned by the consignor to the consignee is 170. So out of 170, 120 and 20, 140 cases have been sold. So the remaining remaining cases are 30. Remaining closing units are 30. The cost price per unit is 360 plus non-recurring expenses 2,880 multiply by closing stock units, that is 30, divided by number of units consigned 180. So this 30 multiplied by 360 is 10,800 plus, if we will calculate this, it will come 480. So if we will add both the figures, we will arrive at 11,280. So now we will see how we will arrive at non-recurring expenses 2,880. So let's check the figure of 2,880 on account of non-recurring expenses. Yes. So here the expenses incurred by the consignor 2160, these are the non-recurring expenses, that is insurance and freight 2160, and the clearing charges incurred by the consignee, that is Gemini Sports 720. So 720 and 2160 total is 2880. So this freight on account of returning the goods will not be considered as non-recurring expenses, and this carriage outward is also not considered as recurring expenses. So the bad debts amount will not be considered as non-recurring expenses, because these are the expenses which occurs time and again. Therefore these expenses are known as recurring expenses. So while making the valuation of the closing stocks, we only consider the non-recurring expenses. So non-recurring expenses are insurance 360, freight 1800, total 2160, and clearing charges 720. So total is 2880. 2880. So this was all about the valuation of the closing stock. So now let us see the how normal loss is calculated. So it is a loss which is due to inherent nature of goods consigned. It may arise in the process of loading and unloading of goods. So breaking of bulk pieces into smaller ones, weighing due to evaporation, processing, etc. Normal loss is not shown separately in the books of the account. So cost of normal loss is spread over the remaining units, thereby it will increase the cost per unit of the goods. For example, 10,000 tons of coal is sent on consignment, costing rupees 100 each. Normal wastage is 200 ton. Let us see how normal loss leads to an inflated cost price per unit. So total cost of 10,000 ton is 10 lakh, normal loss is 200 tons, so remaining units are 9,800. So if we will divide rupees 10 lakh by 9,800 units, the cost comes to 102.04 approximately. So earlier the cost was 100 rupees per unit, but now on account of normal loss, the cost has been inflated from 100 per unit to 102.04 per unit. If consignee is able to sell all the goods so that there is no stock left unsold, question of normal loss becomes irrelevant. The problem arises only when some goods are left unsold with the consignee. In that case, we shall first calculate the inflated cost per unit as explained, and then closing stock shall be valued by multiplying number of units in stock with inflated cost per unit. The value of closing stock can also be computed directly without calculating the inflated cost per unit with the help of the following formula. So, total cost of goods consigned multiplied by unsold units divided by remaining units. Abnormal loss. The loss which occurs due to negligence, inefficiency or some accident is treated as abnormal loss. So, this abnormal loss is basically taken place on account of the negligence and on account of inefficiency of the individual. For example, loss of goods due to fire, floods, earthquakes, riots, war, theft, etc. Such a loss does not occur on account of inherent nature of the product, but on account of the operation of certain external forces, and these forces are also not beyond the control of the human being. Abnormal loss is calculated in same manner as the value of the closing stock. In other words, in order to calculate abnormal loss, all proportionate non-recurring expenses incurred up to the point of loss are also added to the cost of abnormal loss. The formula for calculation of abnormal loss is calculated this: number of abnormal loss units multiplied by cost per unit plus non-recurring expenses up to the point of loss multiplied by number of abnormal loss units divided by number of units consigned. Since the abnormal loss is not incidental to consignment, it should be shown separately in the books of the accounts, and the following entry is passed in the books of the consignor: abnormal loss account debit to consignment account. So, such an abnormal loss may be first uninsured, second partially insured, and third one is fully insured. So, in case the abnormal loss is not insured, total amount of loss is transferred to profit and loss account, and the journal entry would be profit and loss account debit to abnormal loss account. Second situation, in case of abnormal loss is insured and the claim is admitted for a part of the loss. So, it means the insurance company account debit, this amount will be debited for which the insurance company has accepted the claim. Then the profit and loss account which the insurance company did not accept to abnormal loss account. In case loss is fully insured and total claim is admitted by the insurance company, in that case journal entry would be on account of acceptance of loss by the insurance company account debit to abnormal loss account. So, nothing is transferred to the profit and loss account as the claim for the whole amount of loss had been admitted by the insurance company. So, this was all about this lecture on consignment. That is, here we have discussed the value of calculation of the value of unsold stock and how abnormal loss and normal loss are calculated, and what would be the effect of normal loss and abnormal loss on the valuation of closing stock in the books of the account. So, with this I extend my sincere thanks for listening this lecture. Dear learners, thank you very much.